Hi, I'm Allison Howard. Welcome to my yoga channel. And today we're going to do a sort of all-around flow that is the kind of yoga that I most like to practice when I'm practicing on my own. I've done a lot of different kinds of yoga videos on this channel, really short videos, a chair yoga video, some videos that are just sun salutations. But I thought that today I would do a practice that is the kind of practice I like to do when I am working on my own, when I'm practicing on my own at home. So all you need is your mat. You may like to have a cork block or any other kind of block that you happen to have. And if you don't have a block, you can just use a big heavy book or something like that. Anything that is approximately this size is going to help you access one of the poses we're going to do today, which is half moon. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, you can click the subscribe button right down below. It helps me a lot to keep putting out free content on this platform. I release new videos every Monday morning at 10 a.m., a yoga sequence for your practice at home, totally for free. So please do, if you haven't yet, subscribe down below, and let's get started. All right, we will begin sitting on our mat in a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you. Lifting your hips up onto the edge of a blanket can be nice. Sitting cross-legged or sitting on your heels, any way you like to sit is totally fine. And we'll just start to settle in for a brief moment before we get moving. So the first thing I'd like you to do is to begin to focus on sensations in the body. Just noticing what sorts of sensations you bring with you to the mat today, without judging those sensations or wishing they were something that they're not, allowing them to be. Maybe as you notice those sensations, you also feel the urge to adjust, to move, to find some way to make your body a little bit more comfortable. I invite you to take whatever little movements you need to find your comfortable seat. And when you arrive in this seat, you can allow your eyes to fall shut or find a soft, gentle gaze down toward the floor. We begin by rolling our shoulders up, around, and down the back, settling the shoulders down away from the ears, palms of the hands resting on the thighs or the knees. A slight lift through the spine that lengthens up through the crown of the head. And now draw your attention toward your breath. Notice the quality of your breath today on your mat. Is it deep and long and slow? Is it shallow? Are you breathing into the belly or the chest? Noticing without judgment. And we'll begin to intentionally lengthen the breath. So completely emptying the body of air on your next exhale. And then inhaling slowly, fully, all the way to the top, filling the torso, expanding through the chest, expanding the collarbones. And exhaling, release that breath. Again, inhale, fill the torso with prana, with breath. And exhale, release. Gently blink the eyes a few times to open them. Take in the surface that you're sitting on, the world around you, and notice. And on your inhale, lift your arms up overhead. And exhale, press the arms back down, palms come down beside the hips. Inhale, sweep the arms up and around overhead. And exhale, press back down toward the mat. One last time, inhale, reach up long. Exhale, hands press back down into the mat. We'll set up for a little twist here. Take your left knee and swing it underneath your right foot, bringing the left foot beside the right hip. Your right knee is going to tent up, and you're going to pull the right foot in toward your left hip. Now, if this does not feel okay for you in your knee or your hip or anywhere, you can get a prop and sit up onto the edge of a blanket. Another option is to extend your left leg out in front of you instead of swinging it by the hip. We generally do this pose towards the end of practice when we've had a little bit of a chance to warm up. So if it doesn't feel okay for you right here, right now, that's fine. Take the posture that feels good in your body. You can bring your hands to the outsides of your right knee and lift up through the crown of the head. Inhaling. And then continue to keep your right hand on your knee and bring your torso over toward the left. Your left hand can come behind the back. Now, don't crank your spine around. We're just getting started, so just really gently lifting up and twisting around toward your left. Feel and notice points of tension. Right now for me, I really feel a lot of this pose in my left hip. And inhale, come back through and release. We're going to switch those legs around. So your right foot is going to come by your left hip. This time your left knee is going to tent upwards. And again, you are welcome to extend one leg out long to sit up onto the edge of a prop. This side may be much different from the other side, especially when we are coming into this pose cold. So again, hug the knee toward the chest, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Take a long inhale. And then you can begin to twist the torso over toward your right. Your right hand can come behind the back. Don't use it as a crank to pull yourself over toward your right. Just gently prop yourself up to lengthen the spine with that hand. Nice. And unwind. Release your knees. Bring the soles of your feet in together here. Again, Baddha Konasana, this bound angle pose where we're bringing the soles of our feet together. We often take this in my classes at the end of practice. So if your feet are closer to your hips or farther away, don't worry, right? We're going to find a sort of anchoring point, a point of steadiness to press our tailbone down into the ground. Lengthen up through the crown of the head, maybe open the feet out like a book, and then fold forward any amount here. You can allow the crown of the head to hang low and heavy. Breathe into sensation of this posture. Noticing where sensation is loud this morning or soft. Inhale, press yourself back up to sit. Swing your knees around, bring your hands to the top of your mat, and we're going to go straight back to downward facing dog. Here in your downward facing dog, I like to generously bend into my knees. Generously, meaning bend as much as it feels nice for you, and then press the hips up toward the ceiling. So we can get this sort of natural curving of the spine in downward facing dog. And then once that feels good in the spine, you can pedal out the feet, maybe press one heel closer to the mat and then the other. And then come to stillness. Take an inhale, lift the heels. Bend into your knees. On the exhale, look in between your hands and walk up to the top of your mat to a forward fold. Take an inhale, hands come to shins, shoulder blades come down the back. Halfway lift. And exhale, fold in. Inhale, one vertebra at a time. Slowly, gently come to stand. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Samastitihi. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. You're welcome to bend the knees generously if that feels nice. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands onto the mat and step the feet back toward the back edge of the mat into a plank pose. Here from plank, you are welcome to lower the knees to the mat. Bend into the elbows, hug the elbows in by the rib cage. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes. Lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take an inhale in down dog. Press the hips up toward the sky. And exhale, soften. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look to the top of the mat, and step or walk to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Sun A one more time. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank. Now here, you can lower your knees again, or you can keep them lifted. Any way is totally fine, including you can skip a chaturanga. If you're going to do a chaturanga, try and hug those elbows in toward the rib cage. Shift your shoulders forward. Bend the elbows 90 degrees. Inhale, press the heart up for upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Rolling over the toes, pressing the hips up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Look to the top of the mat and arrive in your way. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. I said one more and I lied. We're going to do yet another one. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step to plank. Go through your version of a vinyasa. from chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Knees up or down, or press back to down dog. Take a long, slow inhale here. And an even, steady exhale. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Look to the top of the mat and step, walk, or hop. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Beautiful. Inhale, come to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now we're going to go through our flow. We're going to move from closed hip postures where the hips are more or less even toward the top of the mat, more or less, to open hip postures. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the hands, step it back, plank, and flow. Vinyasa. Beautiful. Downward facing dog. From your down dog, inhale, lift your right heel to the sky. Exhale, plant the right heel in between the hands. Leave your back heel lifted, and inhale, come up for crescent lunge. Now this is a quote-unquote closed hip posture. So our hips are more or less square toward the top edge of the mat. If you're anything like me, there's a temptation to open your hips. And so the way I correct that is to nudge my bent knee hip back and my other hip forward. Lengthen up through the fingertips. Hug the shoulder blades around the rib cage. Biceps come by the ears. Gaze can come up toward the sky. Long, deep breaths. Take an inhale here when you're ready. Exhale, hands come to prayer, right in front of the chest. Take an inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Hinge forward 45 degrees. And then using the strength in our core, we're going to twist, 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 twist toward our right. If you'd like, you can lower the left knee down to the mat. If this elbow doesn't come quite to the outside of the knee, you can bring a hand down to the mat. Find a twisting action in the spine. Squeeze the outer hips in here. There's a temptation to let them be lax. Really squeeze those outer hips and press the sternum up toward the sky to deepen your twist. Nice. Inhale, come back up, crescent lunge. And exhale, wind our arms out. Left heel comes down to the mat. And we found warrior two. Gaze right over your right middle finger. Knee more or less over the heel. Tailbone is lengthening down and our low ribs hugging in. So we're not doing this. We're hugging in. See if you can find anywhere in the body you could bring an ounce more of engagement. Beautiful. Take a long inhale here. Exhale, reverse. Bring your right hand up and overhead. Left hand slides down the left thigh. If your right thigh needs a break, you can straighten. Reverse warrior. Inhale, come right back up. Warrior two. Exhale, right forearm to right thigh. Extended side angle, left arm sweeping up and overhead. See how lightly you can rest that right forearm on the right thigh. Lots of sensation in my right thigh right now. So if that's what you're feeling, it's not because it's wrong. It's because that is how this is, yeah? Inhale, come back up, warrior two. Now here is where you might like to find out where your block is. So you can come find your block, place it just to the outside of your right foot and maybe about 6 inches ahead of your right foot. Reach down and bring your right hand to the outside or to the block. And you might step your left foot in just a bit. We're going to come into our half moon pose, lifting our left foot off of the mat. Really strongly engage those outer hips and glutes here to find stability. Left fingertips reach up toward the sky if you like. Engaging here, the wobbling is part of it. Take a long inhale. And on your next exhale, as you are ready, slowly, with intention, bend into the right knee, your left toes, find the mat. Again, come back up, warrior two. Exhale, frame off the right foot with the hands. Step it back to plank and flow. Take an inhale and exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. A long, steady inhale and a full and complete exhale. On your next inhale, lift your left heel to the sky. Exhale, left heel comes in between the hands. Find your balance and inhale, come up, crescent lunge. Hips are square towards the top edge of the mat. Breathe. Lifting up through the fingertips. If you like, gaze can come up toward the sky as well. Inhale here. Exhale. Hands come to heart center in a prayer position. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Hinge forward. 45 degrees. And then using the strength in your core, you're going to twist, twist, twist toward your left. Find your right elbow on the outside of the right thigh, remembering you have options for modifications. Your right knee can come down. Your right hand could come down. And press the sternum up toward the sky. The breath gets a little jagged here, compressing the torso in this twist so your breath can come more into your chest. Take an inhale, unwind, come back up, and exhale, bring your right heel down to 90 degrees, find warrior two. Tailbone lengthens down here in warrior two. Left knee over left ankle. Shoulder blades down the back. Look for that 1 ounce of engagement that you could invite to some area of the body. Take an inhale, flip the left palm. Right hand comes down the right thigh. Left arm sweeps overhead. Reverse, you're welcome to straighten into the left thigh if it needs a break. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, left forearm, left thigh. Right arm sweeps under and overhead. Utthita Parsvakonasana. It might feel interesting to lighten the weight in your left forearm. Take an inhale, come back up. Warrior two, look down for your block. May need to move it outside of the left foot. Bring your left hand down to the block. Maybe step the right toes in a bit. And as you are ready, lift the right heel up. Strong engagement in the outer hips here. Find your balance, and then you can lift your right hand up toward the sky if your balance permits it today. Sometimes mine does, and sometimes it doesn't. So that is fine. For half moon, all the wobbles happen. Take an inhale. And exhale slowly with intention. Right toes come down. Warrior two. Pinwheel the hands. Frame off the left foot with the hands. Step it back to plank and flow. Downward facing dog. Lovely. Inhale, lift your right heel to the sky. Exhale, bend into the knee. Bring the right knee towards the right elbow, shifting shoulders forward. Inhale, extend through the right heel, downward facing dog, three-legged dog. Exhale, your right knee comes into the center toward your nose. Inhale, right heel back. Exhale, right knee toward left elbow. Inhale, right knee back. Exhale, replace the right foot on the mat. Other side. Inhale, left heel lifts. Exhale, bend the left knee, left elbow. Shoulders come forward. Inhale, left heel back. Exhale, bend the left knee into the nose. Inhale, left heel back, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, left heel back. Exhale, replace it on the mat. Your knees come down to the mat, hips over the heels. Child's pose. Soften. You can bring your forehead down to the mat. You can extend your arms forward. You can bring them back by your hips. And begin to sink into child's pose for just a moment. A moment of softness and stillness. We have not found Savasana yet. Bring your hands forward if they're not already there. Grip the mat with your fingertips and press yourself up to a tabletop position. Walk your feet back towards the back edge of the mat, and then lower yourself all the way down to the mat, onto your belly. Your hands can come down on the outsides of the hips. Palms of the hands can face up towards the sky or down, whatever you prefer. Forehead, nose, or chin to the mat. Take an inhale. Begin to lift the chest off of the mat. Lift the hands off of the mat. Fingertips lengthen down toward your toes. And finally, lift the heels and the feet up away from the mat. Shalambhasana, locust pose. Take a long inhale. And exhale, soften down. You can make a little pillow out of the hands. And as you're ready, hands underneath the shoulders, press yourself up to sit. Bring your left foot by your right hip. Tent your right knee up. Bring it toward your left hip. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. And we're going to find a gentle twist here toward our bent knee. Notice the difference in this twist from the twist we came into at the beginning of our practice. Does it feel softer? Does it feel gentler? Does it feel deeper? Does it feel more embodied? Release, unwind, switch the hips out. Your left foot tented up, left knee tented up, your left foot by your right hip, right foot by the left hip. Lengthen up through the crown of the head and twist around to the other side, twisting toward your bent knee. Right, so the thigh that's elevated, you're going to twist your chest into that elevated thigh. Gaze can come over the back shoulder. Again here, notice the effects of the practice. I always begin to notice the flow of endorphins around this time of my practice. The body just feeling really warm and pleasant. Unwind. Soles of the feet come together, setting up for Baddha Konasana. Thumbs in to the bottoms of the feet, open the feet out like a book, engage the glutes to press the knees toward the earth. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold forward. Where can you find softness here? Softness in the jaw, softness in the forehead. And press yourself back up to vertical. Extend your legs long onto your mat. Then lower back down onto the mat. For final Savasana. Palms of the hands can shine up toward the sky. If there are any final postures you would like to take, you are welcome to take them. Perhaps finding a happy baby pose with your fingers around your big toes, or hugging the knees in toward the chest. Or if you're simply ready to just settle down onto the mat, for final Savasana, you're ready, you're welcome to go straight into that. Once you find your posture for final Shavasana, begin to soften into the points of contact between the body and the floor below it. Release the muscles of the jaw. Release the shoulder blades down toward the mat. Relax the muscles of the belly. And bring a soft focus of the mind to sensation in the body or to the breath. And as you are ready, we'll begin to awaken from this Shavasana. If you want to stay in this resting pose, you're welcome to do so. I will roll over to my side and press myself up to a seat. Thank you so much for joining me in your practice today. It's an honor to put yoga out into the world. Thank you.